I am the program coordinator of the Carolyn Moore Writers House. It's 9 acres of like field and orchard. Carolyn Moore, she had this gorgeous log cabin mansion house built on this 13-acre estate in Tigard. Carolyn, who passed in the spring of 2019, and made it known to her trustees that she wanted the bulk of her estate to go to a local literary institution that would use it to create a writing residency. And she really wanted it to kind of in perpetuity serve others the way it served her. And they made I think a radical decision to choose PCC. They selected our proposal, and that's how the Carolyn Moore Writers House started.
We are going to tour the edge of the Carolyn Moore Writers House property through the forest. What did they say? Through the trees and down to grandmother's house? Is that what the saying is? This tree, until 2 years ago, which is now covered in grass, was the only thing standing in this field. And I was waiting to see if it would fall one day. But I think it's the only thing that's growing here, because this is actually a wetland, which is why there's a bunch of juncus plants growing here. Nothing else. I think that they're called forest preserves and not forest sanctuaries because we're preserving a part of the forest in case we cut down the rest of the forest and need some more forest to cut down. It's also probably why we call them natural resources. So they're a resource and not just a thing that is. Not just nature. Or just like a part of us also, because that's our habitat. And there's, here's where it disappears. Oh yeah, look at that. The water's flowing. This is a baby cattail. These are all wetland plants. My cat's tails won't be anything like that. If they had their wetland delineated, this might be a protected landscape. Not these blackberries though. Do you want to see the rest of the tour? Okay, so you hear it? I think we're trespassing. Okay, oh man. Western red cedars have scales. You can see on the branches. This one is very brown. It's always really sad to see because we are at the very edge of Western red cedar habitat, meaning that they historically don't grow very far south of Portland. But as our climate is warming, they are one of the trees that is having a harder and harder time growing. So this means it's burned. I would say Portland is a red cedar sanctuary. I would say that places like this are a Western red cedar sanctuary. These are its parent trees right here. And they provide shade to saplings like this. And so the saplings can establish before they get bigger, because they tend to survive longer when they're mature. That's a sanctuary. Do you see that? We have a Doug fir tree that died, and out of it grew a Western red cedar on this side and a Doug fir on this side. And One thing about coniferous trees that have needles, is that when they drop their needles, they make the ground really acidic, the soil acidic. And so in order to grow their babies, they will drop, when they like drop their seeds, they'll often grow inside of dead parent trees. They're called nurse logs, but a sanctuary, I would say a sanctuary. This one also has a number. This Western Red Cedar number 5251. Someone did a tree survey. It's not very heartening that somebody has done a tree survey. We are maybe looking at development in this area, and they have to do a survey ahead of time to see which trees, mature trees of certain sizes, are growing in this area, because when they cut them down, they have to replace them. Developers have to plant trees at a rate of 3 to 1 when they cut them down, but it took some of these trees like over 100 years to get this size. When Carolyn Moore passed away, she left this chunk of her property to the school and to art, and then her family inherited the rest of it. The rest of the family wants to develop the areas that are directly adjacent to the writer's house. This being one of them, this stand of old fir Doug trees. I know that Justin, the program coordinator, has been really concerned about the impacts of development on the environment in this area. Being an artist is getting harder and harder. That makes it more and more important to make art. If your art's not getting harder to make, then it's not threatening to the status quo. All types of things coming into bud in the shade here too. A lot of us are pretending to be normal all the time. We're performing. When you're at a writing residency and you're alone in a cabin for the month, you can allow your instincts and intuition to kind of drive how you spend the day-to-day. And it turns out in my day-to-day, I want to write and I want to play outside. And look at plants, as it turns out. This is the beginning of the suburbs. They don't want us to go over there, obviously, or else they wouldn't have this big fence. If this isn't the suburbs, a picture of what the suburbs is, I don't know what it is. It's like plastic and deer bones. What I've been thinking about since I left the writer's house and have gone into environmental conservation work is that sanctuaries are places that need to be actively protected, and that they're not places you can stay all the time. That there may be like chances to step out of the busyness and the hustle and the demands of the world, and that eventually, though, it's not sustainable to stay, and it's not productive because there's no change, like material change, that can happen here. It's only internal change, really. And that they gotta kill this butterfly bush. It's noxious weed. We're writing a citation.